I'll do it, I said as I sat back on the bed and claimed it for my own. The four looked at me as I took another sip of the bottle. What? Doc wants me to stay? I'll keep an eye out for her. No problem. Velvet looked at me skeptically, and I gave my best, trust the strange cyber pony in the clinic smile. Finally, fatigue or bad judgment prevailed. All right, we'll see you in the morning. Little Pip sighed as she looked at her hooves. Velvet Remedy gave a bedside smile. I'll suggest that Homage wait till after the procedure. Indeed. It will be difficult for them to beat her old record if she is not fully restored. Zenith deadpanned. Little Pip's depression was overcome by furious embarrassment, and I looked from one to the other. Record? Was I missing something here? The little unicorn was rendered speechless as her friends left. Calamity had the bottle balanced on his flank as he trot out singing. Wild pea, got myself some wild pea. I looked back at little Pip as the doctor went back to his office. You have some interesting friends, kid. She glanced at me as she slid back into a funk. Yeah, they're great. She clenched her jaw and then smacked her hooves together hard. Damn it, it should have worked. I take it whatever it is whatever got you all shot up? I asked as I slipped off my bed and trot over to her. She frowned and nodded. So, what went wrong? I asked as I held out the bottle. She took it with her magic and then sighed. I needed something of Red Eyes, but I couldn't convince them to let me speak with him, or whoever was in charge of that army out there. I got frustrated, yelled, and they started shooting. So I shot back. Only there were a lot more of them than there were me. If Calamity hadn't been ready, I don't know. I know Red Eye doesn't want me dead yet, but that doesn't mean some overeager thug of his might not kill me anyway, just to be on the safe side. She took a drink, and her eyes bulged as she gulped and then coughed. And I thought apple cider was bad. What is this stuff? 80 proof, I replied with a smile as I took the bottle back and took another drink with my hooves. How'd it happen? Little Pip asked as she looked at my horn. Oh, no big deal, I replied as I tapped my four hooves. A bunch of bucks were in a raping mood. I was with a filly friend of mine from a stable, good kid, and so I made sure that they focused on riding with me rather than looking for her. Of course, when they got bored with me, they started looking anyway. So I shot one with my horn. I rolled my eyes. Needless to say, blew their mood, so they chiseled my horn off. After that, my friends showed up and saved both of us. I took a drink as she stared at me in horror. No big deal. I mean, plan still worked. If they'd thought to take my horn off when they nailed my legs down. Funny how I didn't feel horror at it. I didn't feel anything at all, thinking back to it. They nailed your legs down? She asked in a low voice. Yeah, had to cut them off, I said softly and tapped my hooves together with an awkward clank. Then my friends went and got me new ones. New legs, new eyes, new organs. I sighed. You don't sound very happy about it, Little Pip said quietly. I can't imagine having parts of me replaced with... She trailed off, closing her eyes. I gave a sad little smile. I'd mentally kicked myself for that, too often to miss it. I sighed as I swirled the bottle. I know I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, she finished. Even if the alternative is being a corpse? I asked, arching a brow. She looked, then frowned and sadly shook her head. My friends moved heaven and earth to save me, I said. You'd think I'd be all yippee-skippy, but I don't feel like myself anymore. I feel like a thing. This thing that was once blackjack, but now I can't even do magic anymore. I'm a half-metal horned earth pony now, and all my friends are so desperate for me to be happy and thank them and stuff. There was a pony I knew. She was smart and good, but she made some mistakes, and she was dying. Little Pip shivered a little. To save her, this monster I'm trying to fight, absorbed her. Technically, she's still alive. Or something. Clearly not something good. Not that I think... She said hastily, then paused. Sorry, she said, scowling. It's tough. Celestia's flaming solar anal probes. Why the hell do some ponies do that? Why would anyone do that? It makes me so mad. She frowned at me. At least tell me you blasted those bastards so they'd never do that again. She sounded like P-21. I wondered if she understood. I let them go. At least I hoped they were let go. I wouldn't put it past P-21 Glory or Rampage to have extracted some vengeance on my behalf. You what? She blinked, eyes wide. I let them go. I was dying at the time, I replied with a shrug. Killing them wasn't going to make me any less dead, or my butt hurt any less. I sighed as I looked out the dark window. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they'll just do it again. Maybe if I catch them, I'll have to kill them anyway. But at least I could give them a chance. She smiled and took the bottle, sniffed, and then passed it back to me. You're amazing. Wuss. I teased and took a drink. Amazingly stupid and naive, anyway. Was that a buzz? I really hoped it was a buzz. Amazing at getting ponies killed. Amazing at hurting folks who don't deserve it. I sighed. Ugh. Was this whiny before I died? What do you mean? She asked with a frown. When I looked at her pip-buck and her barding and closed my eyes, I shouldn't say. Don't tell her. She wouldn't want to know. She doesn't mean it. I took another pull off the bottle. I killed my stable, I said softly. Being a stable pony yourself, you can appreciate what that means. I sighed. Why was I saying this? Why couldn't I just let it go? Hadn't I found peace with gardens? Hadn't I paid the price on the boat? What was the price of 400 lives? I looked at the revolver in her holster. Little Pip was just staring at me in horror, and I closed my eyes. There was a virus. It infected a part of the population, turned them into psychopathic cannibals. Nasty stuff. We were able to kill them all, but I was tired. I was hardly paying attention to what I should, distracted by other stuff. And while I was getting laid and resting and taking care of myself, the remaining 400 ponies were exposed. I sighed, grimacing. What did I want? Did I hate myself? Why wasn't atonement enough? They were starting to turn. They were becoming more and more aggressive, and the population was armed. A few more days, and they'd be killing and eating every pony they came across. We got one uninfected filly out, and then I gassed them. I mimicked pushing a button with my hoof, making a clicking noise. Easy as that. Flooded the whole thing with chlorine gas. I let it fall. Of course, I'd planned on gassing myself with them, but Lacuna ruined that, so yeah, 400 innocent ponies. I looked at her gun. I wanted justice. I wanted the pony responsible to pay the price. That was why I didn't feel the horror and shame of being raped. I wanted to be judged and condemned and punished for what I'd done. Not suicide. I was trying to escape from justice. I needed some pony to call me scum that I was and put a bullet through my brain like I deserved. I wanted to find some pony like the stable dweller who would do the right thing and kill me like a mass murderer deserved. I didn't have 400 and something lives to atone for 400 and something deaths. But I could at least surrender one. Then I closed my eyes and waited for the bullet that I so richly deserved. Instead, I got a hug. I can't imagine doing what you had to do. But it sounds like it was one of those situations where you were doomed either way, she said softly in my ear. I sighed, slumping. I know that if I were in that position, diseased, dying, I wouldn't want to die going crazy or worse. I'd want to live or die like a pony, and quick. If you'd sealed it... I sighed, remembering Stable 90, the shortest-lived stable in Equestria. There wasn't anything you could have done. I jerked away from her and flailed as I overbalanced and fell on my side. My hooves kicked as I struggled to roll over and find my footing. Finally, I stopped and just lay there. Why do you say that? Why does every pony? I could have tried telling them. I could have gone pony to pony. I could have gone to Sanguine, given that murdering bastard what he wanted in exchange for a cure. I could have had the decency to die with them. Why didn't she understand? Why didn't any pony? Then she levitated me into the air, and I blinked in surprise. The little pony looked long and hard at me. Would you dying have cured them? I hung there in the air before her. Okay, in all accord with magic this strong, I could understand. This was a little intimidating. I shook my head. Then, all your dying would have done is killed one more pony, Little Pip said firmly before she set me back down beside her. You forgave those rapists. Why can't you forgive yourself? Have you ever gotten innocents killed? She looked me in the eye and then shook her head. If you do, tell me the trick and I'll do it. I sighed, feeling dejected as I rubbed my face with the cool metal of my forehoof. If I stayed here, I was sure I'd start spilling every whiny, angsty thing that happened to me. You know what? Let's go do something. Little Pip frowned. Uh-huh? What do you mean by do something? I took a nice long pull of the bottle and smiled. Attention, Canterlot. We have inebriation. Take that, super magical synthetic organs. I thought we were supposed to be waiting here. You were waiting for a Healy taint purging. You can do that anywhere. All I'm supposed to be doing is being observed. You can observe me anywhere. So, do you want to waste time here trading sob stories? I asked as I slipped to my hooves, a little more carefully this time. It's 2 a.m, she said with a disbelieving smile. So, haven't you ever worked a late shift? Trust me, there's something somewhere, some trouble that we can get into, I said with a wiggle of my brows.